Welcome back to another episode of That's Business. Today's guest is Meghan Johnson, who is actually one of the oldest friends I have. Meghan is the author of 3 Decades in 30 Days, which explains her 3 decades of lessons she's had. So Meghan, first of all, congratulations on this freaking book. Cheers to you, because that's amazing.
Thank you. It's been so uneventful, honestly. I haven't set into the congratulations everyone is giving me.
It's a big feat. But before we dive into the book and what you have right now, did you always want to be an author, or what did you want to be when you grew up?
No, I never wanted to be an author until probably a year ago. I don't know. It depends what age you're asking me, honestly. So younger, I wanted to be a farmer.
Sweet. Love it.
And then I wanted to be a film director. And then I wanted to be a fashion designer. And then I think I wanted to be a psychologist. So it's all across the board. But I can remember the farmer is the one thing that I really haven't gotten rid of that I want to be when I grow up.
You could still be a farmer.
I'm still looking for that 10 acres or 100.
Hey, we got some realtors that have been on the podcast. So we'll connect you for the 10 acres of farming land. So now you're in a clinical role right now. What was your undergrad degree in?
My undergrad degree was in behavioral neuroscience, and then I minored in biology.
Whew. Okay. So at what point, because I honestly don't remember, because there was a time we just lost touch when we went to college. I was at Penn State, you here in Michigan, but where did that come from? Because I remember when we reconnected, I was like, ma'am, what are you, what? That's a total 180. Where did that side of you come from?
I don't even know where that came from. Honestly, I went into college knowing I loved psychology, and then I also loved health and wellness. And I took my first psychology class, and I quickly realized that in order to really understand people's behaviors, you need to understand their biology. We are physiological beings. And so I went through a couple different career paths. I want to be a nurse. I was going to go to nursing school. And then I worked at an assisted living, passing out medications. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I can emotionally deal with this. It was just a lot. It was a great job, but it was kind of sad at the end of the day. And I was like, well, I still want to be in the medical field. And so I learned how to draw blood, phlebotomy, and I was pretty good at it. And I really liked the medical lab vibe. So I got a job in a lab, and there were no windows in the lab. And I was like, I don't think I can deal with this either. Granted, when I got to U of M, I saw the lab there has a lot of windows in it. So I was like, okay, whatever. And I was at the end of my college career, and I was like, I just got to pick something. I just have to pick something. I have all of these science classes under my belt, probably a little bit too much for undergrad. And I actually went onto Grand Valley's website. They had this app basically where you can plug in what classes you've already taken, and it shows you what degree would best suit you depending on the classes that you took. And that was
sick.
The degree. And I was like, all right, sounds good, which is so funny because at the start of college, I was like, I want to be in psychology. And then, throughout the college career, I was, questioning and doubting, and what about this? And what about that? And what about this? So it's just kind of ironic that at the very tail end of my college career, I still ended up with a degree in basically psychology. So it all worked out.
You have to go on the journey too. And I love that app because that's so helpful. I mean, how at 18 years old, you're supposed to figure out what the hell you want to do for the rest of your life is wild to me, but
so true.
I love that. I did not know that. And I don't know in all the millions of conversations we've had how we've never gotten there. So,
well, we're not usually talking seriously.
That's true. And we both have severe ADHD. What?
That's so true.
It is so true. And I want to give you my perspective because Meghan just moved 5 minutes from me. So I see her multiple times a week and it's so great. But I remember you were like, hey, yo, yeah, I'm going to write a book. And I was like, oh my God, it's only been 2 months since I haven't seen you. What are you talking about? So I want to know the backstory. When the hell did you have this idea for this book and how quickly you freaking wrote it? So tell us where this was brewing and how you're like, screw it, I'm going to do it?
Oh man. Let's see. How do I want to explain this? I'll say that before 3 decades and 30 days, and currently, I've been writing this other book. It's fiction, inspired by true events. And it's a really, really special book to me. It will be a really special book to me. And writing it, because I'm a project manager by trade. And so I'm like, how do I publish a book and how do I market it? And what are the next steps? And what does it even entail to finish a book from the first draft to get it to actually publishing it, especially self-publishing? And I quickly realized that I knew absolutely nothing about publishing. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't like write up a project plan if I don't know the tasks, right? And so I don't know where this thought came from. Call it God. Honestly, it just kind of popped in my brain. I'm like, I'm just going to write something really, really quick and meaningful. It doesn't have to be fiction, just as like kind of a test book to understand how publishing works, essentially. And, you know, I was just going through a transformative time in my life where a lot of emotions were brewing up. And I think that's the best time to put out great work, in my opinion. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. And, you know, I really wanted to get my social media down before I actually published the book, because like, as you know, I don't really have any social media, which is just kind of like, I was laughing at the speed networking when Chrissy was like, you don't have any social media? Like, do you want to sell your book? And so like, you're so right. Like I do, but I just wanted to publish it because I knew once I published it, I'm like, that's going to spark something underneath me and the dominoes are going to fall after that, because obviously I would love this book to sell and to be known, but it's more about a learning experience for me right now of the ins and outs of publishing and marketing.
Well, and I think you have a unique perspective in kind of thinking about this. And shout out to Socially Christy, of who Meghan was just talking about. You don't have social media. You've never been one. What did you say? You'll log on to Facebook, reactivate it, creep on some people and get off, see what's going on. And you've always been that way for the 25, whatever ungodly amount of years I've known you.
Yeah, I was a stalker. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you always got to stalk people. It's a fact. But I feel like that almost helps you in a positive sense, because you don't have to compare yourself to others. Like, you're not seeing other people. So I feel like you're one that you're talking, like you process your feelings, the trauma, the crazy events that have happened in your life. And you're just like, fuck it. Let's just like channel that into my work. And I think that's a very unique perspective. So what do you kind of think have been the benefits of not being on social media, or why have you been the millennial that's not on social media, which is unheard of?
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, the benefits of not being on social media, what you were just saying is like, I'm not comparing myself to people, which I've heard from other people on social media, and just like, it just seems like worldwide that it's a huge impact on your mental health, social media. If you're not grounded in who you are and you don't have like a good sense of self, because social media is kind of fake, honestly. You can change who you are and present yourself in a different light kind of really easily. So I would say for my mental health, it's been very beneficial. But the flip side of that, as I'm experiencing now, is that I don't have like a following group. Because if you want to start a business, or if you want to sell a book, or if you want to reach a large group of people, social media is the way. You know, I don't want to say there is definitely no way around it, but it's hugely beneficial to reach the max amount of audience that you want.
Now that you've kind of, I mean, of course, we've been at networking events together and you're like, oh, shoot, I got to be on social media. So where's your kind of mindset with, oh, I have to start it, I have to do it? Like, is this overwhelming, or what's kind of going through your head lately?
Uh, It kind of is overwhelming. I think that's why I published the book before the social media, because I don't think I would have really published the book for a long, long time if I had to have social media up and running before that. I think the hardest part for me is I feel like I know what I need to do. I'm just not doing it. And when you were over the other day and I was talking to you and I was like, I found out this like crazy epiphany of like this core belief that I have from like childhood. I think that kind of plays a part in it. And the main belief that is not to, get too vulnerable is like me not feeling like I deserve to be noticed or recognized or have attention. And even though there's this part of me that it's like a comfort place because somewhere in my like younger years, I've learned that that's kind of what I deserve. I've always had this desire to not be there. I've always had this desire to be noticed and to receive attention and all of that stuff. And so I felt that with this book and social media, it's like, I know I need to put myself out there. I know I need to hit the ground running with this book. I know I need to be bold and kind of attack it head on with promoting and whatever. But there's this holdup still. And I'm the holdup. I'm the fucking holdup. Can I swear?
You absolutely can swear. Yeah, we have rated R on this. You're good.
Okay. So yeah, that has been the holdup. I have been the holdup and just trying to tell myself that like, no, like this is a good book because I literally read it every day because there's lessons in the book that like I am still learning. And I was just talking to one of my good friends, Amber, who's mentioned in the book, just talking. And she was like, Megan, like you need to listen to your own advice. Like
practice what you preach.
Practice what you preach. And I'm like, that's kind of also why I wrote it, because I think with life, like you learn lessons and it's not just like, check, like I've learned it. Okay, I can like throw it in the lesson basket now and never think of it again. It is like a constant everyday thing to remember what you've learned from the experiences you've been through. So yeah, I would say that it's going to be like a slower process. I'm definitely like dipping my feet in. I'm more comfortable in person promoting via social media, which I don't know why that is. So I think it's going to be a balance between promoting on social media, which is something difficult for me, but then leaning into my strength of promoting in person.
For sure. And I think it's interesting too, because the mindset and that whole imposter syndrome, like I feel like we all go through it of like, I'm not worthy of this, but I like the attention, but I don't think I deserve it. And I look at it of when I kind of think of that and I'm like, oh, would I tell you as my best friend that? And I'd be like, fuck no, I would never look in your face and tell you that. And I think it's realizing and accepting it. It's a whole therapeutic thing because
it is, honestly.
Or someone had said like, oh, what as women, we have this problem when you get a compliment and they're like, oh, I love your dress. Oh, this old thing. Oh, you're having a really good hair day. Oh, no, I haven't washed it in 3 days. And like, we're so quick to like, nope, let's downplay that.
Yeah. What is that? Why do we do that?
Because we're people pleasers. I don't know.
That's so true.
I feel like you did the hard part. Like you published the book. Like that's way harder to me than I think social media, but it's opposite. And I love this about our relationship because I have the social media. I have a little bit of a following and like publishing a book is terrifying to me.
That's so funny you say that because I was just talking to someone today and they were like, oh my God, like you self-published. Like that was like a huge accomplishment. That's like really hard. And in my mind, I'm like, no. That was the easy part. Writing is like 5% of it. Writing, publishing, it was easy to me. The hard part is social media marketing. So that just goes to show you that you kind of like need other people in your life. You know what I mean? You need friends and you need support because I wouldn't say we're not as smart as we think we are, but
you need to get out of our own heads almost.
Exactly.
It's just wild to me. And we didn't talk about this either. The fact that you started a book And then what was your quote? Oh, I wanted to just publish something easy. Like, what? That's not easy. It's still a whole ass book. Like, it's a physical living book in the world. Like, that's amazing. So, walk us through kind of with these lessons, because you were explaining it perfectly when we were at Bamboo yesterday. You said you read the book every day. So, how, as someone that would purchase this book, like utilize it to the best of its capabilities?
That's a hard question because I really want people to read the book in like 15 minutes and give me a review on Amazon. But see, that was another king. It was so funny. I have marketing skills from like 1997. I'm like texting people. I'm sending out like faxes, ringing the village bell, like book is here, book is here. So I was like, yeah, like here's the book, like give me a review. And then I think like 2 days later, I was like, hey, like, how's that review going? They're like, Megan, like, first of all, I didn't receive the book. And second of all, I need to actually read the book. I'm like, oh yeah, like people actually need to read the book. So, but besides the reviews, the book is really meant for you to just have something for meditation purposes. So maybe if you have like a morning ritual or something, you wake up, you journal, you wake up, you go outside, or at night, something to ground you, basically. So you pick up the book, you read a day, you read the passage, and it's meant for reflection. So that's the whole point of the book, is to read the passage and reflect about your own life and your own lessons and how that day applies to things that you've experienced in your life. So the passages aren't specific to my life per se. They're very general, so you can relate to them. So that's kind of the feedback I've personally gotten from those who have read it or started to read it, is that it's really meant to be like a personal devotion book. It's meant for reflection, and it's meant for you to kind of think about your life a little bit more and see how you can be maybe a better person, or maybe use a little bit more common sense in life, or maybe there's some people in your life that you don't want to be in your life anymore. I don't know, it's just a different perspective. And there's prompts at the end of the book, mainly because Amazon does not allow you to publish a hardcover book if it's below 75 pages. So I had to I'm like, well, I can't, it's 3 decades and 30 days. Like, I can't put any more lessons. So that's why the self prompts are there. But I've gotten good reviews on the self prompts too. So if you do buy the book and you're reading it, there's just questions in the back of the book to kind of help you with that self reflection.
That's amazing. And that's a good insight. I mean, I didn't know you had to publish on Amazon for hardcover for 75 pages. So that's a good thing to know. Little tidbit of information. So when you decided to hit the button and hit publish, walk us through like the whole process of, you wrote it, you have beautiful cover art. What was the whole process? How long did it take for when you said, all right, we're doing the damn thing, to when it was actually live on Amazon?
Yeah, it was definitely, it was clumsy. I'll say that. I produced the first draft in like 2 days. And then from there, I can't remember the order of everything, honestly, because it kind of all happened simultaneously. But with the actual draft, I sent it to my good friend, Maddie. And I was like, hey, you want to edit a book for some money and like just give me your thoughts and reviews? And she was like, sure, why not? So she did it so quick. So thank you to Maddie. I sent it to my friend Alex, Amber, and they're mentioned in the back of the book too. So if I'm just talking about the actual manuscript and the editing of it, I would say the first draft took about 2 days. There was like at least like 5 additional drafts after the first draft of like editing and putting in new content and just like little minor tweaks. As far as the actual production of the book, I used, what is that called? I want to say Fiverr. Why am I drawing a blank on the name?
Yeah, Fiverr's a thing.
Fiverr. It's like the freelance website.
Yep.
I hired out someone for my book design. I hired someone out to actually format the book. And then I did hire someone out to format the book for an ebook, which I was going to post, but it just didn't look right on the web version of Amazon. Plus, I just wanted to be a hardcover really bad, honestly. It just didn't give like the same appeal through an ebook. So I decided to nix that, even though I was reading that ebooks are great for like promotion and like getting on email lists, and you can do like ebook free promotions and just get a lot of audience through that. Um, and so with the book cover, there was like a lot of different drafts, and actually uploading it to Amazon KDP, it has to be like certain dimensions, and there has to be, you know, certain dimensions within the spine. And it's funny because I YouTubed the process of uploading books on Amazon. And it's so funny. They just gave like the normal, like general, like, well, you know, first you gotta make an Amazon account. It's like, okay, yeah, like
Yeah, I got that. We're there.
yeah. Then they're like going through each other. Well, now you have to upload the manuscript. It's like, okay, yeah, like I got that. But there's like certain details that were kind of tricky. And I would say the book cover was the trickiest for me. Like I personally had to go back into Photoshop and like change dimensions in order to fit hardcover, because at first I did it through paperback and they're like different dimensions, and the hardcover like has a spine, and if it doesn't have a spine it's different. So it's like a whole thing. So it was really clumsy at first, and finally I felt pretty good about the content. I felt good about the manuscript. I felt good about the cover, and it was just kind of like sitting in Amazon KDP world ready to be submitted. And then I went to Jeannie.
And who's Jeannie? Tell the good people who Jeannie is.
Jeannie is a lovely, lovely woman. She is a psychic medium, which some people are like, oh my God, you go to psychic mediums. But I swear to God, like asking me if I believe in psychics is like asking me if I believe in financial analysts. It's like both people just gather information and tell you their like perception of it. It's the same thing. So I went to her and I was like, you know, I have this project going on. I didn't tell her too much. I have this project going on and I'm like right there, but I feel like I should wait a little bit and to get my like ducks in order. So should I just, you know, should I wait, or should I just say like, fuck it, let's do it? And she immediately was like, fuck it, let's do it. And it's so funny because like I already knew that was the answer. And it was just like her like confirming. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Even though it's like so backwards, and it just goes back to one of the passages in my book, which is the day 30, and it's trust yourself above everyone else. Even if you're deciding to do something and you're like, this is the logical approach, this is what I should do, this would produce the best outcome. But if your heart and something is pulling you like away from that logic, you kind of have to like discern what that is. And so that's what I had to do. I'm like, I don't know why I'm going this way, but I'm going to trust in myself and go this way. And, you know, I think it just like the thing that I brought up earlier about kind of coming to this like core belief that I had about not really feeling comfortable, like having myself notice. I just think back and I wonder, like, would I have come to that conclusion if I would have done the social media right up front and then published the book? You know what I mean? So I just did it. And I had a friend over and she was like, you have a typo in the cover. And I'm like, gosh, darn it. And so after it was published, I had to go back and like republish it, which takes like 2 to 3 days. So, you know, it was a clumsy process, but it got done. And now it's for the world to see.
That's amazing.
Out of the 350,000 books that are on Amazon.
It's fine. It's on there though.
Yeah.
Meghan, you continue to amaze me. Like, I'm so blessed to call you a best friend. But as we wrap this up, what advice do you have for listeners?
Should I give them the same advice I gave you yesterday about motivation?
You absolutely can.
No, I don't want to.
No rules.
Well, I might post this on LinkedIn, so I don't know
True.
how appropriate that would be. But it is good advice. Wouldn't you say? I thought it was pretty good advice.
You said do drugs. That's what you
no,
had said.
Gosh, no, that's not what I said, Angela. I don't know. I don't know what advice I would give, honestly. I would say no matter like where you are in life, no matter what you're doing in life, no matter if you're sad or happy or whatever, at the end of the day, life is your responsibility, and it just is better if you have people around you that support you. It's not that no one's going to help you out in life, but you are the navigator of your own life. You have free will. Like sometimes I don't even realize that. Like you can do whatever you want in life. Like obviously there's consequences to certain things. Like you shouldn't go and like commit a hideous crime, but you can literally do whatever you want in life, and it's up to you to live the best life you can. But also recognize that you do need other people too in order to support you. And just going back to the how I thought it was easy publishing a book, but you think it's easy on social media. Like you can't do things alone. You can navigate your life as best you want, but it's just better to have people around you, especially people that love and care for you. So keep those connections close. Don't burn bridges. Yeah, that's my advice.
Meghan, you have been absolutely fabulous on this podcast. Thank you so much for agreeing to it, even though you were kicking and screaming when I asked you to be on it, but that's fine. And for those of you listening, if you want to go and buy Meghan's book, follow her on her brand new socials, head to the show notes, and tune in again next week for another episode of That's Business.
If you're looking for a career change and you're not sure where to start, the Resume Rescue can help. Sure, there's no such thing as the perfect fit for everyone, but here at the Resume Rescue, we're on a mission to find the perfect solution for you. Whether it's changing careers, updating a resume, learning LinkedIn, or practicing interviewing, we have you covered. Find us online at theresumerescue.com and find all of our contact info in our show notes.